Hello viewers, welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be designing a dashboard using CSS and HTML only. So we'll be using vanilla CSS and HTML and designing this simple navigation, this simple dashboard, right? The first thing you actually think of when you are given a project to work on or UI to work on is your layout, right? And so how will you want to design your layout? And CSS has identified 4 methods of working with layout. And most basically 2 modern methods are Flexbox and Grid. So we are going to be employing this, we're going to be using Flexbox and Grid to achieve this layout and then design this our dashboard, right? So if you look at this dashboard, you will see that we have a side menu which is which has a color of red. We have a header. We also have the inner body, right? So basically, when you look at it visually, we can conclude that the layout of this our portal is contains sidebar, header, and then the major content area. So let's move down to our code and see how we'll achieve this, how we're going to design this, right? So go to your VS Code and create a starter template, HTML template, right? Now the first thing we want to achieve is to actually get our layout right. So in our layout we have a parent div, right? Which is more or less like the container. So, and this parent div is divided into header, right? We have header, we have, and what I mean by header, if you go back to our design, what I mean by header is this part, which is whose paragraph color black, right? So that's the header, right? Then it also contains the main area. That's the main area where the content is. So in our case, we'll see that what I mean by the main area is all this area below the header, right? So we also have this sidebar. The sidebar, I'm going to call it a side. And what I mean by the sidebar is all this area was red, right? Okay. So how to identify this? For now, I'm going to be using an internal CSS, right? I will use an internal CSS, and then when I get it right, I want to transfer or move the CSS to an external sheet. So I'll come here to define my CSS style. So what I'm interested in achieving now is to make sure that our layout is to get our layout properly. Now I'm going to suppress all the browser default CSS. Right, so margin is 0 pixel, and then padding is 0 pixel. Okay. Let's give our parent container an ID. I'm going to call it container. So this is our parent. It's actually our parent container. And I also give this header, our header, an ID of, we want to call it header. Yeah. I'll give our main an ID of, no, call it main. And our side div, I'll give it an ID of, I'm going to call it div, right? So to actually get our layout properly, I will make use of the grid, CSS grid, right? And so how do I use CSS grid to achieve this? What I will do is to style the container. So the container is the parent, is a grid, container is a grid container. That's a grid container, right? So I'll give it a display of grid. So by making the parent div or the container by making the parent in free of grid, you have established that that particular div is a grid. And so the elements of that, the grid items, which are the elements, the child items of that container, were arranged in the form of a grid. By default, it will be a single column grid, right? So I'm going to give this our parent container a width of 100%. That's because I want it to expand throughout I want to take the width of the whole screen, right? So, and then I'll give it a height of 100 VH. That's view height, right? So the next thing I want to do with this our grid is to identify or define the number of columns and the number of rows in our grid, right? So if I go back to what I'm not trying to achieve, you can see that this our parent, we can assume that this has two columns and two rows, right? And look at the first column, which is the whole of the sidebar. Somehow you can agree with me that it is 1/4 of the entire width. So look at from it, here's 1. If I assume these 2, these 3, these 4, these 5. So the whole of this width is 5 times the width of this sidebar, right? So we can say that this div is divided into 5, right? If you can divide this grid to 5, then part of it, which is 1/5 of it, is where the sidebar actually occupy. So logically speaking, you agree with me that we have 2 columns and 2 rows, right? So to achieve that, we're going to come back to our grid container and specify the number of columns our div contain. And you can do that using grid template columns. So 1 FR and 4 FR. So what I've just said is that, okay, our grid we have 2 columns. The width of the first column is 1/5 of the entire width, while the width of the second column is 4/5 of the entire width, right? So we also want to specify the number of rows we want, which is in our case 2 rows, 1 FR and 9 FR. So what we have said, okay, sorry, this is grid template rules, not grid rows. Let's grid template what rows. Okay, so what we are saying here is that our grid container should contain 2 rows. The first row should be 1/10 of the entire height of this div, and the second row should be 9/10. So there are actually 2 rows and 2 columns, but of different width, of different sizes, right? Now, to better understand clearly, I'm going to give this a background color of, let's say, I'm going to give it red, so for clarity's sake. And so let's view this in our live server and see what it looks like. Okay, so this is it. And if I inspect this, you can see that this is a grid. I can see this our grid, and looking at this grid for what you are seeing on the screen, it has 2 columns and 2 rows. But you can see exactly what we defined it. The first column, it has 2 columns and 2 rows of different sizes, right? The first column is smaller than the other column. So the first column is 1/5 of the entire width of the container grid, of the grid container, while the second column is 4/5 of it, right? The same goes to 1/10 of of the heights, and the second column is 9 over 10 on the height. So the second row will take more or consume more of the height than the first row, right? So having divided our grid container, our div grid container into rows and columns, so we need to go and lay the grid items on this grid, right? So let's do that. Now I want to start with our header. We will start with headers. Secondly, before we continue, let's go back and inspect again. So we can see that you can, on the columns we have line, we have column line 1, column line 2, and column line 3. On the row we have row line 1 and row line 2 and row line 3, right? So you can actually spread your the grid items or the children or child of the container grid on this grid using either grid area or grid lines, right? So I just want you to know that to actually define the area where your grid items will cover, you either use grid area or grid line. So we're going to use grid line. But before then, let's be sure we have 2 columns, right? But these 2 columns have grid line 1, which is the first one here, right? We have grid line 2, we have column line 1, 2, and column line 3, which we also have row line 1, row line 2, and row line 3, right? So let's go back to our CSS and define the rest. So we're going to start with the header. So we have a header of IT header, so I'll go back and let's define this header. This is an ID selector. So okay, so I'll give this a background color of black, so we are clear. Black is 00006, right? Okay, and what we are saying for what we want to achieve for this is that we want our div, which is the header. We want to define the area is going to be the area it will occupy in our grid, in our container grid, right? And we have identified that we can either use area or use grid line. We're going to use grid line here. So I'm saying for the column, I want this grid to start from 2 to 3. So that means the column, the grid, if you draw your header in this grid container, it should start from column 2 to column 3, right? It should start from column line 2 to column line 3, right? So let's also do that for the grid row, right? So for the grid row, we want it to start from row line 1 to row line 2, right? So if you go and view this on the browser, you can see this is it. And if I inspect this as usual, if I inspect this, you agree with me, you can see where our header started from column line 2 to column line 3, and therefore row line 1 to row line 2. So that is the area covered by our header, right? Our header. Okay. So we're going to do same thing for others. So let's scroll down and let's go to our main, right? Our main. So our main is in list. So we're going to use ID selector, which is main, right? And then we'll say that our main should start from grid column. So I say that main should start from grid column line 2 to grid column line 3, right? and uncover from the rule, uncover a rule from row column line 2 to row column line 3. Now to help us differentiate it, I'll give it a background color of, let's say, 00FF00. That's blue. That's green, sorry. So if I go back to our code, you can see me is covered, right? Okay, so what's left is that of the sidebar. So I'm going to call this, I think the ID is side, right? So let's see, let me show about the ID side, okay? So you see for the grid line column, we want it to start from column line 1, column line 2, and for the rule, we want it to start from rule line 1 to rule line 3. Now to help us also differentiate, we're going to give it a background color. We're going to remove all this background color just for us to be sure that we got the layout. So I'm going to use a background color of 00FF, right? So, and that is blue, right? I'll come back here soon. So you can see that comparing this with these documents, even though we have different background colors, we have gotten the layout properly. So what we now need to concentrate on now is now begin to write the content in each of these, each of these sections or each of these components, right? The sidebar component, the header component, and the main component. So we'll now focus on trying to write to the content of the component. But at this point, we have gotten our layout properly, right? Okay, so first of all, I will go back to our, let's start with the sidebar, right? And let's start with the sidebar. Right? Okay. So first, we want to change the background color of the sidebar. We are using blue initially just to differentiate between, just to have a clarity and be satisfied that our layouts was gotten properly. So however, in the actual work, we won't be using this background color, right? So we're going to make use of, I'm going to give it a fairly red color, a shade of red, which is D10, right? So that's red. So that's red, right? You can also use a color picker to determine, to get the color, right? So you will need to install the ColorZilla Chrome extension to actually make use of it, right? Okay, but for now, just follow my color code, which is it. Now let's go to the sidebar and now work on the content of the sidebar, right? So if you look at our sidebar, we have two parts. We have the logo part. We also have the nav side. In this nav, we have icons and we have the title, right? So if you can now, you are going to find that the layout of this sidebar is a logo, more like a logo, and then a nav bar. And then in this nav bar, we have icon, or we have the title, right? So this knowledge, it gives us a visibility of what the layout of the sidebar should actually look like. So let's go back. So the layout has, the sidebar has the logo part, right? The logo part. So I'm going to call that, I'm going to give it an idea of what logo. And this logo has, I'm going to put the text. You can use an image or whatever, but I will just use the text. And that the text they will say is called Tech Mentor, right? Tech Mentor. right? So we also have the other part of it, second part of it, which are just notifications, right? So I'm going to put that in the list, the second part, and I'll call it notification, right? So ID of what? Notification. All right. So in this notification, which is what we have here, notification, it's made up of list, right? But in each of these lists, we can see that we have an icon, and then we have a write-up, right? So let's go back. Okay. So I want to wrap it native. We have two things in that. We have the icon, which I'll leave for now, and then we have the list, right? Okay, so we have a list, and we also have icons, right? So we're going to leave that of the icons. Let's enter the list, which is what? Li, right? So each of those lists call it dashboard, right? Okay. So I'm going to give this a class, an ID of class, since we're going to have multiple of those divs, right? So because they're going to share common CSS property, CSS style, so I'll give it a class. I'll call it navs, right? Okay. So each of these div, when you click on whether the icon or the text, I want it to redirect to the right page, right? So I'll put an anchor tag, which is going to wrap this whole, right? Okay. So we can as well copy all of this. I think there are 5 of them. So I'm going to paste. Okay, so okay, so let's look at what it is like, right? So we now have our logo, which is Segmento, and then from now we have dashboard. Okay, which we'll kind of with dashboard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 8 of them with different topics. We're going to leave it like this. We'll change it. We're going to change this later, but let's leave it this way first, right? Okay. Okay, so let's go back to our code. So for our sidebar, we'll make our sidebar a display of flex. Right, so what we want to achieve is that this if you look at this logo and this, there's a space between, and then you look at the sidebar, you can see that the elements of the content of the sidebar are arranged in columns, right? So I want to change the display that flex direction towards color, right? and then between this and this, there's a space, just like we have here, a space. So we need to take care of that particular space, and we can do that using gap. So I need a gap of, let's say, 20 pixels, right? And then padding of 20 pixels, right? 20 pixels. So if we go back, because we now have the gap we actually need, right? So all right, so let's now go to the logo itself. Let's now start the logo itself. So I have an idea of logo. So I'm gonna call it what? Logo. And I'll just give it, just because I want to centralize the logo. So I'll make the width of the div containing the text to 100%. So it's going to span 100% of the parent, which is the whole sidebar, right? And then I want this text, I want to be sure that this text is actually the middle, right? So I'm going to use a display of what? Flex, right? So when you use a display of flex, just by default, the flex direction will be roll, right? So I'm going to put justify content center, align items center. So if you do this, you observe that your text will come to the middle, which is what you have actually achieved, right? So furthermore, I want the text to be bold, right? So font weight. Let me give it 900, right? So I think I'm looking with this. Okay. So let's now go and style each of these list items, right? So first I want to remove this list style or these bullets in this list. So how do I do that? So I'm going to use a child selector. Remember, if I go back here, remember this is our navigation, right? And our li is a child of this navigation. So in order for me to start giving each of the li class names or whatever, I will just use the child selector. So our navigation, li. So this our child selector. What we're saying that on li, there's a child of this ID of the ID navigation should have a list style of what? Of known. List type of what's known. And then additionally I want to increase the font size. I'm going to give it 15 pixels. And then also want to make it bold. Font weight bold, right? If I save and go back, you can see they are all bold. And secondly, the whole bullet is out now, right? So let's go. If we go back to our navigation, if you look at this, if we go back to our navigation, which is this, right? So we can see that all these are in column. I want to consider the gaps between dashboard and profile within this, right? So what I want to do is to also have that gap, right? So I'm going to make this particular UL element a display of flex, so I can use cap to actually control that space, right? So how do I do that? So all I need to do is to style our navigation. Right? By giving it a display of flex, right? So let's copy this navigation, and I'll come down here and I'll say display word flex, and then the flex direction as usual will be column, and I want gaps between the space between them, so I'm going to use a gap of, let's see, 30 pixels. So if you do that and go back, look what I have done, we'll notice gaps between. However, this is having 8 while he was 75. I'm going to correct that, right? I'm going to correct that. Okay, so let's go back. Now, in each of our div, each of our li, each of these, you will find that just like this, we have icons, right? Now, to get these icons, we're going to use font awesome. So if we go to your Google, font awesome. I need a CDN of some font awesome. I connect to font awesome and they use font awesome. So go and type font awesome CDN. So I'll open it. Yeah, so this is the CDN. So this CDN is using version 6.6.0. So all you need to do is to copy this particular the URL to the CDN, go to your project, the header file of your project, header part of the project, and then paste it there, right? So at this point, we have linked our project to font awesome CDN. So with this now, we can comfortably use font awesome in our project, right? So all you need to do is to go to font awesome and then search for the icon you want to use, and then you can use the icon, right? So let's do that. So in my own case, you can see the first one is dashboard, right? So to do that, we'll go again and search for font awesome, not the CDN this time. And then click on font awesome, the first one, which is fontawesome.com. So I'm interested in icons, right? So in this page, you can search for the icon you want. So in my own case, I want to search for home. Yes, click home. So to show different icons, you can see all these ones that are not free. So I'm going to pick this is the first one. When you click on it, so you can copy this now and take to your project. And then I want to use that for the dashboard. So that will come before the dashboard, right? So if you do this and save, if I go back to my project, I renew the can see this is it, right? Okay, so the next, if you go back, is what? Profile. So I'll come back here to the next one, which is what? I'll correct the text with profile. So we need to go and search for the icon for profile. I will go back here and let me search user, right? Well, let's look at profile first. Let me see what profile will give me. Okay, so we see this what profile gave me. So I'll go with this. I prefer this, right? So let's copy this, go to profile, and then paste it there. If you come back to your project, you can see this is profile. So the next one is user management, right? So let's go back here. And the next one is what? User management. So let's change our dashboard to user management, right? So management. So I'll go back to Fort Awesome and I'll do for, this time I'm going to search for users, right? So users. Okay. So if you do that, I'm going to look for the one closer to what we want. This is users, okay? And so let's go and search for it. Let's go and look for it. I'm not using exactly what is there, right? So, but okay, so I'll go with this, right? So I'll just copy it and go here, user management, right? So the next thing that follows after user management, so this is what we have now. The next thing that follows after user management is store management, right? Is store management. So let's go back here. Instead of this dashboard, we're going to type out store management. Right, so let's go back to Fort Awesome and search for store. So let's look for an icon that we serve, right? So I'll look for store. We search. I'm going to go with this first one. So I'll copy it, come to store management, before the store management, paste it there, right? So after store management, the next one that follows after store management is what? Wallet management. So I'm going to come back here and call this wallet management. Okay, so let's go to Fort Awesome and look for an icon that will befit that. So you go to Fort Awesome and then search for wallets. Right? So okay, so this wallet. So I'll go with this first one, right? Let's copy it. Come back here before wallet to paste. So because it's finished, right? So I'll just copy. I need two more words and paste. Let's copy and paste. Okay. So I'm going to go back afterwards, but let me know the next one we'll have is help and then setting. So come here, help. So I'll go back to Fort Awesome and look for an icon that will fit for help. So I'll type help and then search. So so this what help is giving us. I will go with this, copy, and then let's paste it. I would place this with it, right? So the next one, the last but not the least is what? Setting. I'll come here and type what? Setting. So let's go to Fort Awesome and look for an icon that will fit for setting. So I'm going to click setting. I'm going to type setting and then search. So I see we have I prefer like a gear kind of. So let me, instead of setting, let's search for gear. Let's search for gear. Okay, so I'll go for this first one, which is free. I'll copy and then replace it with what we have here, right? See, so I go back, this is what we have. So what we need to do now is to style this to actually give us exactly what we have here, right? Okay. Okay, so to style our nav is what we have, right? So to style this nav, let's go back to our code. And then if you look at it, we have this class name of nav, which is appearance to the icon and then this text, right? So what we will do now is to go and style that particular nav. So all it belongs to a class name. So all the all these thieves have a class name of what? Navs. So we want to style all those div with class name of navs. So we're going to, now if you look at it, this is a div. The div contains this icon and this text. We want to lay them in rows, right? So what we need to do is to style the parent element to this div. And so to do that, we just give it a display of what? Of flex. Once you use the display of flex, you'll find out that they'll be arranged both in rows, right? So by default, when you give it a display of flex, by default the flex direction is actually row. So you may not really need to specify it, but I would just want to, for clarity's sake, to specify it. So flex direction is what? Row. Now I need a bit of space between them. You can see they are tightly together now, but I need to put a bit of space between them. So to do that, we're going to use gaps, right? We'll see gaps. Gap of what? Of 10 pixels, right? Okay. So I also want to give it a padding. So I also want to create a padding of 10 pixels. And the color too should no more be black, it should be white. So we say color what? Color. Want it white, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which is white. So if I go back and view this, you can see we're getting closer to exactly what we want to achieve, right? Okay. So if you also look at this, when you hover on this, you can see that the colors are changing, right? So how do I achieve that? I'll go back. See, so to achieve it, I'm going to use this to-do selector, right? So now right, when we hover on it, when you hover on the perspective on our map, we want to change the background color to white. Let's go back and see what we're talking about. So we're saying that when the user hover on any of these, we want to change the background color to white, right? And then change the color of the text. Right, so to do that, so what do we say? When the user hover on this, we want to change the background color to what? White. And then we also want to change the color red. In our case, it's D11 colored previously. Okay, so we also want to change the border radius to 10 pixels, right? I also want to change the cursor, the pointer, right? So if I go back to our code, our project, sorry, what's wrong? Okay, so let's go back. We'll see. Okay, it's .navs, not .nav. So let's correct it. .navs. So I'll correct it. Let's come back here and do it so you can see. So that worked, right? So that worked. Now, before we proceed, if we look at the fonts for this, we find out that they are different, right? I enjoy using Google fonts, right? Which is what was used for this particular project, right? So I'm going to use Google font and then give the entire page the same font. Now for text that's ought to have different fonts from the general font, so we can specify that in the styling, right? So what I want to do is to go to Google font. I'm going to go Google and look for, and search for Google fonts, right? So it's font.google.com. So this, when it opens, I'll search for the particular font I'm interested in. I think I like Roboto, right? No. Sorry. So you search for the font I'm going to take my time to look for the font I'm interested in. Hopefully, sans serif, I think let's go with this. Okay, so you click on it, and then when you enter into it, you're going to have different style of font for it, different styles. So I'll just look for, you don't look for what you want. So I'll go for the first one, right? So all you need to do is to get fonts, right? So there are two methods, either you download it or you embed it, right? So for me, I prefer to embed. So all you need to do is to copy this to your header. That's copy, right, to your header. So I'll just copy it, go to my header and paste it there, right? So if you look at it, I'll also show you a sample of how you can use it, right? So I'll just copy this sample, right? Go to my style and create a style for, so part of, you can see we say margin 0, padding 0. I also want to paste the styling for this so that this becomes the default style for all my elements, right? So any elements or any element I want it to have a variant from this, I'll specify it in its CSS, right? So I'm not interested in giving a general font to it, right? Right, so that's it. I think that's all. So let's save and see what the font looks like on our end, right? So you can see this. We have a different font now for what it was before, right? So in the course of my development, if there's a font, if there's any text I want to have a different font, I'll specify it in the CSS. However, I'm using Google Fonts now with a font family of Open Sans Serif, which is gotten from Google Fonts, right? So that's what I'm using for this project, right? So let's go back and actually continue for where we stop. So we succeeded in creating a style when the user hover on the nav, right? So on that thing, I want to do is to give the icon a specific size, as a size I'm interested in, right? So to do that, I'm going to use a child selector. One other approach is to actually give each of this icon a class name, right? I can give it an extra class name, let's say icon, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to start going to each of these icon and giving it a class name. So what I will do is to use a child selector. I will say any that's a child of this nav, right? So what I'm going to do to specify the font size. So I'm going to give a font size of, let's say, 20 pixels, right? Then you can now save. Let's go back and you can see. So this is what we have. So at this point, it is safe to actually see that we are done with the sidebar. So let's move to the header and actually get exactly what we have on the header, right? Okay. So if you look at this project, we are creating that for this header. We have this text dashboard, which is at the left side of the header. We have this other group of items, which is at the right side of the header. Now, with this particular right side, we also have an image, and then we have text, which is text mentor, and then the job title for this particular user, right? Okay, so to achieve this, let's actually go back to our code. right? So before we continue, I want to refactor our code, right? Okay. I want to refactor that the code is coming cumbersome, so it's good that we arrange it for clarity purpose. So I'm going to cut this header part and go down, and then for clarity purpose, I'll put a comment here, and this is I'm going to call it, let's see, header, right? So I know that this part is for the header styling, the styling for the header, right? And then I'll paste it there. Okay, so we just concluded that of the sidebar. So I'm going to come to this and do the same thing here. Let's call this side by right. Okay, so let's go down. So this is type header. Okay, so let's go to our HTML document. In our header, we have identified that our header is made up of two group of items, right? The first one is a text, right? So I'll give this, I'll create a div for the left side, which is a text, and the text is just the dashboard. So this is the left side. Now for the right side, we also create a div for the right side, right? And then the div has, we have an image, right? Fill an image tag. They will have a text. I'm going to say tag code mentor, which is a user, right? And then the extension of the user is an underline, so I'll put a break here, right? And then let's put that in a span tag, and we'll see software engineer. Now if we go back to our code, this is okay. So we are not seeing it because the text is dark. So let's go to our style there of our header and change the text color to white, so we can have visibility of what we are doing. So I see when I return back, you can see, so this is what we have. So this is the content as exactly as what we have here. So let's add the image. Currently we have what we have here. We are going to use this image to complete our project, right? So it's either you go to Google and download this image or create a picture of your own you want to work with, right? In my own case, I have this image downloaded which I want to use for this project, right? So I'm going to go back to my code. So please, I made an error initially on this H2 tag, so I need you to correct it, right? So it's a common practice for you to create an asset folder on your project, right? For your asset, right? So I'll go to my project directory and create a folder called assets. Now this folder is going to house or contain all the assets in my project. And in this asset folder, I'm interested in creating an asset for images. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'll call it what images. So take your downloaded picture or image and upload it into this particular folder. So I'll go to my download page where I have my image. I'm going to drag this image to Visual Studio Code into this particular folder, right? So this image, we have this image in this folder. So with that, I can make a reference to the image from my image tab. So the image is contained in my asset, and in my asset I have it in my image folder, and then this right? So if I go back to my code, this is what we have, right? So if you look at these projects, this particular project we're working on, you will see that for the header, which is divided into two sections, we have one of the sections which contains the text transport on the left side, so that section which contains the image and then the title, the image, and then the destination of the user is at the right side of the header, right? So let us achieve that. This is our project. Let's go back to our project. So in our header, our header is actually the parent div, which houses these two particular components, right? So let's go back to our header, which is a container, and let us give it a display of word flex. Once you give it a display of flex, the default direction, flex direction will be rowed. You will find that they are now parted in rows, right? So, but now I need to control the space. In which space, where did I want this space to be? I'm interested in taking this space, extra space in between these two particular components, right? So to do that, I'm going to give it a justify content, and I'll say space between, right? So I was saying that along the cross axis, we want this space to be between the two elements, right? I also want to align my items and my items to the center, right? So to give it a bit of better look, I'm going to give it a bit of pad of, let's say, 5 pixels. Also, if you go back, this is what we have. Now, as to compare with what we have here in our project, you will find out that this image and this text here are stacked horizontally along each other, right? So we're going to achieve this. So instead of stacking this in column, we want to stack it just like this we have here in rows, right? So I'll go back to my project. So we have this as profile, which is the div that houses the image and the text. So I'm going to use the ID selector to target it, right? And we'll say display of what? Of flex. And then by default, the flex direction will be ruled, but I will just, for learning's sake, I will want to specify that rule. And I want a bit of gap between, a bit of spacing between the image and the text. So I can do that using water cap. And I'll give the cap of 10 pixels. As usual, to give it a better look, I want to give it a pattern, right? So I'll give it a pattern of, let's say, 5 pixels, right? And text align towards center. So to take the text to the center. So we'll go back and can see this work is exactly what we want, right? In this case, you can see this text is a bit smaller in size than what we have here. So the next I'm going to do is to actually target the text and make it smaller, right? Change the font size. So what we are trying to change is actually this H2. And this H2 is a child of this profile div, right? This div with profile. So I'm going to use a child selector to actually target the H2. So I'll come back here, use words. I'll add this profile and H2, right? So H2, any H2 there's a child of profile div. So I want to change the font size. So I'm interested in giving it 10 pixels, right? So if you go back and find out exactly. So I want to do the same thing to the image, right? The image should be as small as this, what we have here. So I'll go back to, and the image also is also a child of this profile, right? So I'm going to take the same approach. Let's copy this. And then instead of H2, we're saying the image tag. And then we want the image tag to have a width of 40 pixels, right? And then I want to give it a border radius of 50%. About 50%, right? So let's go back to our project. So this is it. So we have exactly what we want, right? So the next we need to work on is the main content. And if you look at this main content, it's divided into two sections. One is at the top, the other one is at the bottom. So the top main has 4 items or 4 boxes, right? While the bottom main has graphs. So, right, so we can actually see that the main div can be divided into actually 2 sections. So we're going to take each of these sections one after the other to actually complete this project, right? Let's work on the main content, right? So as we said initially, that the main content, we look at the main content, you will discover that the main content is divided into 2 sections, the top, right, and the bottom, right? So we're going to divide it and then work on each. I work on them one after the other, right? So let's go back to the main content. Okay, so this is our main content. So the main content is divided into 2 sections, right? So I want to represent these 2 sections with a div, right? So this first section, I'll give it an ID of, let's say, top main, right? While the second section, we'll call it bottom main, right? Now let's start with the top main, and then when we are done with the top main, we can now look at the bottom main, right? So if you look at the top main, you see that this top main is divided into 4 boxes, right? So each of these boxes are represented with a div, right? Okay. So now in each of these boxes, you also have text and numbers. You have these icons, right? You have this text, and you also have these icons, right? So, and if you look at this text, you have a number here, and then you have a text which stands for maybe user or whatever, right? So that means in this top main, we have each box. So I'm going to use this div to represent each of the box, right? Now, in each of these boxes, we have a text, and we have a set of text, and we have a set of text, and also have an icon. So those texts are using div to represent this set of texts, right? And in each of these texts, we have, for example, H2, which is a number, let 5, 6, 7, and then we have another text below it, we use H3, which is, for example, we said users, right? Okay, so that ends the text. Then we also have icons. So I'm going to copy one of our icons to represent it for now. I'm going to copy the icon you use for our sidebar. Present it for now. I want to copy this. Right, so let's go back. So this is used to group the text, right? Okay, so why this one represents icon? So this is a single box. So this is a single box. So we're going to replicate this box 4 times, right? But before then, so let's style this single box and get what you want before replicating it, as we said 4 times, right? So if we go back, you can see that these 2 items are stacked horizontally, right? They are stacked horizontally. If we go back to our code now, this how it is here, you can see that they are stacked vertically. We need to align those. I need to align it horizontally, right? As we have always done. Okay. So let's go to our code and achieve that. So I'll go to my code. Don't forget that we call it top main, right? top main. So I'll go to my code and let us give it what top main. So we're saying that this top main, which is the whole of this top here, has boxes and stacked in rows, right? So to achieve that, we're going to use display of what? Flex. Right? Our flex direction will be what? Row. And then we want the space to be between, just like we have here. We want the space to be between each of these items. So I want to say space words between. And then to give it a good look, I'll also give it a padding of, let's say, 30 pixels, right? So if I go back to our code, it doesn't make any sense now because we are not seeing the background color. But before then, let's remove this green color which we have here. And also refactor our code. So I want to go to where I have main. I'll cut it from here. Right? So our main styling started from this top nav, right? So let's put a comment here and let's call it what? Main. So paste the main there, right? So this main, I want to remove this background color from main, right? Of green, so that we just have, so this red is actually the red of it's actually the red coming from the body. We also don't need the red from the body, which is container. So I'll go to container, so remove this background color initially, which we put here as red, right? So if you go back, you'll see it's now white, right? So let's return back. Okay, so we haven't done that. But let's also observe our main here. I see the background color. So I want to change the background color to this main. I'm going to change it to something that looks like ET, looks like 3, ETB. So if I come back here, this is what exactly we're talking about. Alright, so we are done with studying our top main. Now, if I go back here, if I look at these boxes, these boxes are white in color. So I need to change the div that houses these 3 items to actually have a background color of white, right? So let's go back and style that. So if I go to this top nav is this. So a div which is a child of the top nav is what we want to actually deal with, right? So okay. Okay, so what we are saying is that this time we want it to there is a direct child of this div, so that when you go to this top nav, we have these what are these that are child of this top nav. This is child, but we're interested in this particular div, which is a direct child of the top nav, right? So just give it a quick look. We'll give it a padding of, let's say, 30 pixels, right? And then background color of white, right? For 5.6, right? And then we also want to give it a width of 15%. We're going to have 4 of them, so 15% is fine. And then display flex. Display flex. Remember that in each of these boxes, we want this right up. We want this right up to the side. Why this icon to be at the right side? So that's why we use display of flex, right? And then we'll say flex direction of what? Row. right? So what do you want the space to be? Justify content, want it to be in between the two of them, so it to be space between, right? But if you go by, you can see the spaces between them. And then I also want to get a box shadow. A box shadows. I'll give 0, 4 pixel, and 4 pixel, 8 pixel. Then the spread, 8 pixel. And then the color RGB. I'm interested in black, so 0.0, so 0.0, and then opacity of 0.4, right? So one, so the second one is 0, 6 pixel, and then spread 1.0, then color RGB A. Let's same black, and then opacity 0.9. Okay, so if you go back, this is what we have. But we want these boxes to be 4, right? Want them for a number, all right? But before then, let us finish styling the text also. So I want to target the history, which is this text itself, right? So to do that, I'm going to say I want to copy this. So H3 is a child of ET, which is also a child of the top main, right? So I'll give it a font size. I want to reduce the font size to, let's say, 12 pixel. And then I want to give it a color of gray-like color, which is AADD, right? Okay, so I also want to do the same thing for the H2. So I want to target the H2, which is a number, right? So for this, I'll give it a font size of 20 pixels, right? So let's see how this is. Okay, so we are almost there. I also want to style this icon here, right? So as you can see, if you look at this icon, I see this one looks bigger, the color, the different color. So I'm interested in also styling the icon, right? So let's go down. I want to give this icon okay. How do we target this icon? Because it is top nav. This icon is a child of a thief, which is a child of top nav. So let's come back here and target T2. So the thief is I, right? So this is tag selector, right? So what kind of what kind of size I want to give this? I want to give it a font size. I want to make it a bit bigger, 40 pixels, and then let's change the color to the color is red light color, so I shall color, which is T1120. If I save it and go back, so this is what we have. Now we're going to change this icon to exactly what we want, right? Or exactly what we have here. But meanwhile, first of all, let's copy. Since we're done with this first, let's copy it. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's copy it to 3 places, right? So go back to our code, and then all these are top nav. I'm going to put a space here to differentiate our top from our bottom. So all these represent each of the boxes. So I'll copy, and I need it 3 times, right? So I'm going to copy, paste, 2, 3, and 4. So exactly what we have here, right? So I'm going to leave this like this, right? We'll come back and change this icon, right? Before doing this, first of all, work on the bottom, right? Which is the div that carries the chart, right? So the main component, you said we have the top component and we have the bottom component, right? So we are done with the top component. However, we need to change the icons in this top component, right? But before then, let's go and achieve our bottom component. So if you look at what we have in our bottom component, we have charts, right? We have a column chart. We also have a line chart in our bottom component. You have a bottom component, we have a line chart, we also have a column chart, right? So we're going to need some form of libraries, some form of external libraries to actually work on this chart. We have a lot of them. We have all these charts, but I will be working with Apex charts, right? So you just go to Google and type Apex charts or Apex charts CDN. Apex charts. So these are the sites for Apex charts. And so in Apex charts, these are external library to help us actually get our graph, bring graphs and other graph types to our project. So I'll go back to our project. So at this point, we are done with the top part of the main component, the main. So I'll now go to the bottom part. So what I will do is to create a new. So what I'll do is to create a new div for our bottom component. So let's look for the main, right? So these are our main. We have the top main div, right? So we are done with the top names. Let's now go to the bottom div. So this is the div that we created for our bottom, right? So we're going to bring these charts to this div, right? So let's go back and see how to use the chart. You go back to Apex chart where you're going to see your documentation. And so it's important that you read through this documentation to understand how this Apex chart works. So if you go down, if you're using NPM, you can actually install this library or project by using NPM install Apex charts. That's just safe to show that you're installing it with dev dependency, and then you import it. But this is not the approach we are taking. We are writing a raw HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We are not using any form of framework like React or Node. So I'm not working with NPM for this project. So all you need to do for our type of project is just to copy this CDN of Apex chart to your page. So when you copy this, you can copy it to your page. So you can put at the top or bottom. I'll prefer putting at the bottom, so I'll go before the end of my body. So I'm going to insert it here. So what this does is it creates a link from our page to the CDN of Apex chart. So we can actually work with Apex chart. Haven't done this. So I'm interested in, first of all, a line chart. But let's look at, let's go to creating our first project and see how this works. All right. So if you look at this, you see this an example of how this chart works. So in the chart, you have an option which tells you what kind of chart you want to actually design. Is it a line chart? Is it a bar chart? What kind of chart you want to design? What kind of chart you want to bring into your project? You also have so these are an object with options of charts. Your next option is series, which defines the data you want to bring into your project, right? So for now, we are not actually concerned about how all this works. We're going to copy this code and take it to our project. But what we do now is that if you look at this line, variable chart, new Apex, you will see query selector. So we are selecting a particular element in our HTML, and then So having selected that, we'll now call the render method to render this chart to our HTML. You can see this Apex chart is an object, new Apex chart, and then you are passing as parameter the actual div or the actual element where you want to create that chart in, and then the chart option variable which you created initially, and this option variable contains the type of chart, the data you're going to use in coming up with the chart, right? Having done that, you call the chart.render to actually render that particular chart on the selected element. So what I would do just to copy this. You can also see example of how it implemented on this edit pane code. So why it's opening, so you can see your HTML page, your CSS have actually imported, and then you define the width or whatever of the chart. So in your JavaScript, this is it, and then you call this query selector, which is a div with an ID of chart, which is equivalent to what we have here, and then render the chart in this div, right? And so what you're rendering in this div is a chart with these options, and these options have various properties, which include the type of chart, the data you are using to draft on that chart, and so on. So what we're going to do is just to copy this now to our project. So if I copy this and take it to our project, so in our JavaScript, I paste it there, right? Okay, sorry, put into a script. This is JavaScript, so put it into a script. So I want to cut this, and then, right? So currently we don't have any div with ID charts in our project. So I'll go back to our top nav, which is this, our bottom main, and then create that div, right? The create div should have an ID. The div should have an ID of what? Of chart. So our chart to be rendered in this div, right? Our chart to render in this. Let me go back and be sure the name is correct. Chart CHATS. So if we go back here to our JavaScript, we see we're calling an element. We're selecting that element with ID of chart. So this is our chart. There's no S on it. So let's go back and then remove this S. So it's just chart, right? So if I save this and return back to our project, okay, you can see it's not loading. That's because these are our charts of not defining any size for the chart, right? So I will need to go, okay, CHRT. Let's shock it, this CHRT. So the spelling was wrong, right? So let's go back and load. So you can see we have the chart currently on brought the chart currently in our project, but we have not defined the CSS of that div. What that div should cover, the width, the height. We're just making sure that this chart component is actually on our project, right? We have not styled it to actually to define the width or height of this chart, right? So on that chart I have is a column chart, right? So I'll go back and look for sample code for a column chart. So I'm going to go to chart types. I'm interested in column chart, right? Column chart. Okay, so when it load, we're going to copy the components, what makes up the chart, and then bring it to our project, right? So currently we have this, right? So I'm going to go back. Let's allow this load. Okay. All right. So if we go back at this, exactly what we have, I want to see simple example of a basic column chart. So this is a simple example of a basic column chart. So I'm just going to copy, as we have done before, I want to copy what we have here, right? Sorry, I'm going to copy all what we have here and take it to our project, right? So let's say Control C. Let's go back and then let's analyze what we have actually done, right? So you can see this is the second chart. Now I want to, if you go back, you can see these options, and we're having two variables with the same options. So I'm going to change this variable to, I'll call this bar chart what options, right? So the variable name is bar chart options. So these are all the options of the different series in the bar chart. We have for different bar chart, the data, the name, we have different lines. If you go back to what we have here, we should have different lines in this bar chart. So the data used to plot these different lines is what is being represented as series, right? Net profit. So the data in this used to draw this line is what is being represented here, so defined here in the series, right? So we have for revenue, we have for cash, we have different types, and then we have the chart. We define the kind of bar chart, the type of chart we want to actually put on our project, and various other options. So we've changed the variable name to bar chart because we already have a variable name options. So we change the options to bar chart options, right? So if we go down, we also have this variable bar chart. Remember that we already have a variable name chart, so I'm going to call it bar chart. And then we are selecting a particular div with ID chart in our HTML, right? But already we have an ID of a chart where our line chart is being drawn. So I'm going to call this bar chart, right? So that by rendering this bar chart, not the chart itself. So I'll change this to bar chart. So remember that we change the options here from options to bar chart. So I also change this to bar chart options, so that this what is being rendered is these bar chart options, right? So just for clarity's sake, I want to still use a comment to define that this is bar chart, right? So these are for bar charts, while this other one is for line chart, right? So currently we don't have any div with called bar chart. So let's go and create that div. I'm going to copy this, go to our bottom main to create a div with bar chart, which that div with bar chart is where our bar chart will actually be rendered. Okay. So I'm going to go to here and let's create a div. Right. So the ID of the div will be bar chart. So we'll go back to our project. We see we're going to have our bar chart. Now what we need to do now is to actually style these bar charts and then on the line charts to look exactly like what we have here, right? So remember that these bar charts and this line chart are child of a particular div. That is our main div, right? Our bottom main, right? So we can use our bottom main to control the width, to control the portion, to control the area covered by these two charts, right? So let's go back. So if you go back, you'll see that the parent component is this, and you are going to know that the ID of this parent component is called bottom main. So what we need to do now is to style this bottom main to address the width and height of our chart, right? So to do that, all we need to do is to so to do that, all we need to do is to style this bottom main by giving it a display of flex. So I'm going to do that. So let's go back to our style and let's style this. So ID of this. So I'm going to give it a display of flex, right? And then the flex direction is right. So I also want to give some gap between the two. So I'm going to give it a 10 pixel gap between the both chart, right? So, and one of that to give it a nice look, I'll give it a padding of 30 pixel, right? And then I'll give it a background color of white. So look at that, what we have in our. So look at that, what we have in what we are trying to create, right? So if you look at it, you can see this is it, and then this is it, right? So that notwithstanding, we need to actually work on. We need to actually work on the width. You can see this is. You can see the way this one looks. Well, you can also see that this one is compressed to the left, right? So let us actually style for that style this to look exactly like what we have here, right? Okay, so to actually adjust these flex items, like the line chart and the bar chart to look exactly like what we have here. So let's go back to our code. So if you look at the bottom component, you see display flex, presentation is show, and then we give padding, we give tab, we give background color. Now, so in this bottom main, we have two T's, right? So these two T's are the charts and the bar charts, which is where the charts are being rendered. So now to control, I want them to have equal width, right? So so what we do is to style the charts, right? And now get the chart a flex of what? 1. So I'm giving the chart a flex of 1, and that of the bar chart. These are the two child elements in our bottom main. Also giving it a flex of 1. So given these two, what you have just specified is that the bar chart and the chart, they should have equal width, right? Since it's 1 and 1. So we'll do that. We'll get exactly back our project. We have now gotten exactly what we have here. But one more thing that is different is that remember that this our icon is actually not the same. You see, so let's actually work on this top nav. If that's what we want, right? So I'll go back to the top nav, right? The top nav. So this is it. So the first one, look at what we have is users. So users correct, right? 5.6 is correct. So, but we need to change this icon. And if you look, I will change this icon. And this icon we are changing to, it's actually the same with what the user icon we have here on our sidebar. So I'll go to our sidebar and copy the user icon. That's their side, and copy the icon for the user, right? So which is this. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use this icon for our top nav. So I'll go back to our top nav and then and replace this icon, right? This icon with this. So, and if I come back and see, so we have worked on this. So the second one is font, which is 987 font, right? So I'll come back here, go to font. Second one, so this is fonts, right? Not users. This is fonts, and it's 987. So I'll go back to our font awesome to look for. I'll go back to our font awesome to look for something we're going to use for font, right? So go to your Google and let us type font awesome, which is font awesome. So we're going to get our icon from here for this particular font, right? For font. So have we changed this to font? Okay, sorry, this is the wrong one. So this is what we mean. We should about fonts, right? And 987, right? So fonts 987. So let's look for font. I'm going to go to icon on our font awesome and then search for wallets, right? Let's search for wallet. We can use something else, but if we don't get exactly what we have here, we can still use something else that looks similar, right? So wallet. Let's see. Okay, this wallet is balanced. I can see balance here. So let's see how I'm looking for this, right? Let's see. This, I'm going to copy this wallet. You know, this wallet looks exactly what we have here for balance, which is this, right? So let me just copy the wallet and take it towards here. So replace it with this, and this is for balance. balance, right? So this for balance, and it is a 678. So I'm still going to change it to 678. So let's go back and look at the second one which we are looking for, and that is for fonts, right? So I'll come here and let's look for font. I'm gonna use, let's try cash. Let's search for cash. So this is cash register. Let's copy it, go here for our fonts. If I'm going to change it to what we have, so we've gotten this. So the last one we need to work on is for transfer, right? So that's the fourth one. So I'll go to the fourth one, which is this, and change this towards transfer, right? So we'll go to our font also to look for that particular icon. What we're looking for is this icon, transfer, right? So I'll call it transfer. Let's see if we'll see anything that looks okay. So look at this one, transfer. That's it. Let's copy it and let's go back here and change this, right? So we've changed the icon. Let's also try changing number 890. So this is what 890. Okay, so at this point we are grouping that we're coding exactly what we have in this project, right? So you can use this model, you can use this example to create any kind of dashboard you want to create. So currently this dashboard is not responsive. So what we're going to do next is try to see how we can make this dashboard responsive, determine how it's going to look on our mobile device, on our tabs and other targeted screens, right?